Hey folks, Bobani here. I have been shooting with the Olympus 75-300 version 2 for several weeks now. And I want to give you a more recent look at its performance as this lens came out all the way back to 2013. Now many years ago, I did try this lens and I returned it within a couple of days because at the time I was using an older Olympus OMD camera and processing software. So that was then. What about now? Will there be a big jump on focusing using the OM1 Mark II? Will images fare better with today's software, and will it make me reconsider this lens? Well, we'll find out soon enough. For just a few quick notes about this lens. It has no weather sealing or image stabilization. If you're coming from a heavier telephoto lens, the weight distribution might take some getting used to because personally I found holding a heavier combo balances better in my hands. Now I shot no higher than f6.7 and I didn't use a tripod. I mean, why would you? The lens feels like a toy. Now the closest focus distance is about 3 feet wide and 5 feet at telephoto. There's no focus limiter on this lens, but hopefully your camera might have that option internally, which is a great feature to have for any telephoto lens. So if you've watched reviews on this lens, the common consensus is that it's sharp from 75 to 220, and then it starts losing sharpness as it moves towards 300 millimeter. Now some reviewers say 300 millimeters gets softer but usable, while others felt it was just so mushy that they were discouraged from buying the lens altogether. Now I shot a ton of hours with a few weeks invested with this lens, and I eliminated every possible excuse before judging it, especially at 300 millimeter, since you do buy a 75 to 300, not a 75 to 220. So that means I made sure I was accounting for heat distortion, handshake, and of course missed focus. Now I started with still subjects in single autofocus, then I went to still subjects in continuous autofocus, and then it was doing moving subjects, some panning, and subjects coming directly at me. So does the present compensate for some of this older lens's shortcomings? Well, when it came to stills, I was really pleased with this lens. Sure, in less than optimal conditions, the focus slows down, but it got there consistently. And when it came to tracking during panning, in other words, side-to-side movement, the lens was pretty good. However, the focus would at times jump off and then get back on. Now I'm comparing this with my pro lenses, which were stellar. Now, despite a consistent panning motion, there were times that this lens just got tired and left the subject only to reacquire the subject. And I'm not referring to a small bird flying erratically. In many cases, it was something as simple as a dog running in a predictable direction. As far as tracking with a subject coming at you, that was much less consistent. The focus motor combined with the slower aperture didn't keep up consistently at all in that department, even in optimal lighting. Now, it doesn't mean you won't get some shots, but in the case of, say, a dog or a bird coming at you at high speed, it'll be hit and miss. It's not a serious competitor to a lens like the 100-400, which has more powerful AF drive system, which has better lens electronics, and of course it's got a different optical design, so it's optimized for autofocus tracking. But this is, after all, a budget telephoto from 2013. And while there's some focus consistency issues in certain conditions, image quality has been giving a second life thanks to modern software. In fact, editing software has breathed new life into the Micro Four Thirds system. Tools like DxO Photo Lab and Topaz Photo can dramatically improve high ISO performance and sharpness. Now, as someone who shoots weddings and events with OM Pro lenses and used to that level of optical quality, I had low expectations as I was shooting with this lens. But I was pleasantly surprised, even at 300 millimeters. Now, it would be great to see OM System release an updated version of this lens because I think there's still a strong market for this compact, lightweight telephoto. Faster autofocus motors, maybe stickier subject tracking would make a huge difference, and I'd definitely pay for that. By the way, unlike Topaz Photo AI, DxO Photo Lab is still available as a one-time purchase rather than a subscription, which in 2026 makes it an easy choice if you don't want to be limited by high ISO performance, which this lens can force you into as soon as you lose the sun. Now, whether Photolab continues offering the one-time purchase model remains to be seen, which is why I bought it while I still can.